Hello, Antioch Community High School. Welcome back to your weekly weather forecast, number 14. Let's hop right into next week. So for the week of November 25th, we'll be heading into December here, so get ready for that winter weather, and as you're going to see, we're going to have a lot of that. We start on Monday. We have a men's basketball sophomore tournament going on. For that, a high of high 40s and a low of mid 30s. So relatively cold. Not too bad, but it's going to get worse on Tuesday. We have early release as we get ready for Thanksgiving break. Now for that day, a high of high 40s and a low of low 30s. But we have a cold front coming through that day. Once again, that could also change. It could come on Monday, could come on Wednesday. But relatively speaking, around Tuesday, we should get a cold front, which means that the following days would be much colder. And you see on Wednesday, when we start Thanksgiving break, a high of low 30s and a low of mid 20s. So we're finally going to get these sub-freezing temperatures. Not too much of a snow threat for us, just kind of cold and dry weather. And obviously Thursday's Thanksgiving, a high of mid 30s and a low of low 20s. Once again, very cold. Friday, the break continues. Once again, very similar temperatures to Thanksgiving, just a little bit colder on the high with a high of low 30s and a low of low 20s. And then Saturday is the Ted DeRuze Invitational for wrestling and also a girls bowling invitational here. A high of mid 20s and a low of low 20s. Gets even colder. And you see on Sunday, we continue that trend, the start of December, with a high of mid 20s and a low of mid 10s. So around that teens. So overall, say goodbye to your fall-like temperatures and say hello to winter. It's going to be very cold. I know we just had our first snow Thursday, but snow should not be too much of that as we head on into this week. Let's hop right into the hazards outlook. As you're going to see, relatively speaking, we have no highlighted hazards, so it should be relatively consistent weather, like fair average, maybe a little bit of rain or snow here and there, but nothing out of the ordinary that would require it to be put on this. So no high winds, not anything too below average temperatures or too above average that would be plotted here. So we're going to hop right into the tropics. Hurricane season, it ends this Saturday. So let's hop in as an overview of the entire season. Here is the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season so far. Do I expect anything to change? I've seen maybe one or two models out of 50 show something forming in the Caribbean this week. But once again, not too much to focus on if the National Hurricane Center did not outline anything, which they have not so far. But we're going to hop right into the hurricane season statistics. We've had 18 named storms. Those are tropical storms and hurricanes. For the hurricanes, we had 11 of them. 5 of them were major. You're going to see I kind of color-coded this. Beryl, a Category 5. I'll get a little bit more on Beryl later. And then we had Helene and Kirk, Category 4s. Milton, Category 5. And then Raphael, which we just had maybe 2 weeks ago, and that was a Category 3. We've had 2 Category 5 hurricanes. Since 2019, we've not had any season to do that since 2019. So once again, a little bit rare. And also, Beryl here, the earliest Category 5 Atlantic hurricane on record, and the second July Category 5 hurricane on record. And then we also had the strongest hurricane on the globe this year so far. I do not expect that to change, but once again, that's Milton. And we also had the smallest Atlantic hurricane on record, that being Oscar, an incredibly small storm that models were having trouble picking up on because it was that small. And then overall, for more statistics, 5 hurricanes had a U.S. landfall. We had Beryl, obviously, major hurricane. Debbie and Francine, I think those were Category 1 or Category 2 hurricanes. And then obviously, the 2 dangerous ones that we've also had, Helene and Milton, that made landfall as a major hurricane. Overall, we've had more than $191 billion in damages. That, I believe, is second or third overall for the costliest hurricane season on record. And what has number 1? 2017. So that had Irma, Harvey, all those very dangerous storms. I remember that very clearly. But for this to be the second season, or third, I'm pretty sure second, in overall cost is very concerning. And obviously for this, A lot of fatalities as well, with 391 direct hurricane-related fatalities. I know with the flooding with Helene and other damages related to Milton and Beryl, there's a lot more indirect deaths that have not been, like, I guess, shown here. But the direct hurricane-related fatalities, 391, which is very sad to hear. And then the final thing, which I'm going to get a little bit of an explanation on, is the ACE. ACE stands for Accumulated Cyclone Energy, and it's how we kind of measure how active a hurricane season has been. For some perspective, we are at 161 as of November 18th. Once again, don't really expect that to change too much, but what was interesting is anything above 159.1 ACE is considered a extremely active hurricane season. Obviously, we are about 2 above that. So, once again, this season, very above average, very dangerous, and very sad to hear about all the fatalities as well. But that does it for your weekly weather forecast, but not before I talk about Typhoon Durian. This is 2006. November 29th. As you're going to see, I'm not going to have that many typhoons to cover as we get into these winter years. So what I might start doing is I might start about just historical weather events instead of just the typhoons, just the hurricanes. But that does it for your weekly weather forecast, number 14.